What if the greatest climate solution was beneath your feet? In a quiet corner of France, a small farm is trying to use the soil to sequester carbon. The soil of this farm stores nearly 6 times more carbon than the fields next door. How? Not with machines, not with chemicals, but with compost heaps, garden beds, and a forest. This is a story of permaculture, a type of farming that doesn't fight nature but imitates it. And in doing so, it may just change the way we grow food, restore our land, and combat climate change. So what's really happening in this underground world, and what can it teach us about our future? Let's dig in. A quiet patch of northern France near Le Bec-Hellouin, a small permaculture farm lies there. At first glance, it seems modest. Garden beds, mounds, a tranquil forest garden, and a pasture where sheep graze. But beneath your feet, something is unfolding. In 2016, a group of researchers set out to probe the unseen world beneath this permaculture farm, the soil's secret life. What stories do these soils tell? How has human intention, organic, composting, layering, written itself into the earth? They compared 3 permaculture plots, mounds, beds, a forest garden against a grazing pasture, and a nearby conventional plowed, pesticide-using field under cereal crops. Their goal? To understand how ecological farming shapes soil structure and nourishment. The permaculture plots received an astonishing quantity of organic matter, manure and compost, far above regional norms, 225 to 330 tons per hectare per year versus about 30 in standard organic systems. But before we go any further, let's pause and ask the question, what exactly is permaculture? The word itself blends permanent and agriculture, and that's the heart of it. Permaculture is a design philosophy and a way of farming. It looks to nature's own systems, forests, wetlands, meadows, and asks, how can we learn from these self-sustaining worlds? Instead of neat few or even monoculture crops, permaculture embraces diversity. Fruit trees stand beside berry bushes, herbs grow under leafy canopies, and vegetables push through rich garden beds. Animals, too, become part of the cycle, chickens turning soil, sheep fertilizing pasture, bees pollinating flowers. The goal? To create landscapes that feed people while also regenerating the land, conserving water, building soil, and capturing carbon. It's farming, but farming as an ecosystem, not a linear process. Soil scientists speak of aggregates, tiny building blocks that form soil. Macro aggregates, large particles, and micro aggregates. And even finer silt and clay. Organic carbon weaves itself into these like threads binding them together. In the permaculture beds and mounds, they discovered something remarkable. The soil brimmed with organic carbon, between 60 and 73 grams per kilogram, compared to 49 in the pasture and a mere 11 in the conventional field. In terms of carbon stock, permaculture soils held 6.3 to 7.7 kilograms per square meter, compared to 5.2 in pasture and 1.2 in conventional plots. But the story doesn't stop with carbon. Nutrient richness bloomed. Permaculture soils increased bioavailable calcium, magnesium, potassium, and phosphorus, while the pasture and conventional soils were strikingly deficient. These are the foundation for life, seed to harvest. pH levels the soil's own pulse shifted to. Permaculture soils registered a higher, more neutral pH, more conducive to life. They also discovered something unexpected. The extra carbon wasn't hiding in the fine silt and clay, where it might be well protected. Instead, it was lodged in coarse particulate organic matter, like compost bits, plant shards, those big fragments that still breathe and change rapidly. So while there was more carbon, it was in a form that might not last ages. It could decompose quickly if conditions changed, a potential vulnerability. And this raises a question. Is this newfound carbon storage temporary theater, or a seed of long-term transformation? Now, let's step into the forest garden. At first glance, it doesn't look like a farm at all. It feels more like a small woodland, fruit trees arching overhead, berry bushes filling the middle layer, herbs and vegetables thriving closer to the ground. It's messy, alive, layered, nothing like the flat, uniform fields. The forest garden received just one compost application 7 years earlier. And yet, when scientists tested the soil, they found it was richer in carbon and nutrients than even the actively managed pasture nearby. The secret lies in how the forest garden mimics nature. Its vertical layers of plants capture sunlight at every height. Its deep roots draw up minerals from far below the surface. Every autumn, fallen leaves blanket the ground, nourishing soil, life through the process of decomposition. Dead branches, fruit peels, and shed roots become food for fungi, worms, and microbes, without tractors, without yearly compost heaps. Permaculture practices gave an immediate boost to soil life. But at what cost? Compost and manure had to come from somewhere. Are we shifting burdens elsewhere on the farm? Does the system balance out or simply redistribute effort? There will be a need for longer-term studies to assess carbon budgets and farm-scale assessments. Only then can we truly know the sustainability of this farming system. Under deliberate care, even a small permaculture plot, just 0.1 hectares, can transform itself. It can capture carbon, nourish life, strengthen resilience. We learned that carbon doesn't just hide in tiny particles, it can bloom in the big, raw, organic matter pulsing with life. And we learned that natural layering, like in the forest garden, layers depth into soil and spirit. Most of all, we learned that sustainable agriculture is possible and alive and breathing in fields like Bec-Hellouin. If you enjoy these videos, comment, tap the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you do not miss our next stories. Do you have stories you would like us to cover in the next videos? Drop them in the comments. We love to hear your ideas. Until next time, stay curious and keep uncovering the hidden stories of our planet's journey.